Alright guys, my name is lilshef and welcome back to another episode of the Patreon Sim Dynasty. We just got done with week 2. A lot of people had their first game, so let's see how everybody did. Charlotte ends up getting their first win of the season at 35-21 over FCS East. They were down at the start of this game at the end of the first quarter, 14-0, then scored 21-28 unanswered before they finally answered back. And it was too little too late. Take a look at the team stats. 22 first downs, 386 yards of total offense, 44 rushes for 228, 2 touchdowns, 11 for 26, 3 touchdowns of 158 yards. And would you look at that? They were both 11 for 26 with 3 touchdowns. How in the world did that happen? That is insane to me. Just a little bit more yardage for the 49ers. They were 4 for 12 on third down. Not great. And 2 for 3 on third down, or on fourth down. Dang it. But they did all right. 4 for 5 in the red zone with, I'm going to assume, the 1 turnover. They did enough to get the win. It was actually a fairly decent game, but Charlotte comes out on top. Wyoming also gets the season started off right, winning 42-21, took his starters out at half, up 35-0. I don't know if he did or not. I assume he did. Kansas had a pick 6, but so did Wyoming. That's a good start. Whenever your defense can put up points for you, that's a huge advantage. Taking a look at the stats, 30 first downs, 438 yards of total offense, 53 rushes for 231 and 2 touchdowns, 19 for 29 for 207 and 3 touchdowns. Pretty decent game, pretty even game. Yards wise, I mean, pretty much went with a run game, but when you're ahead 35-0 at the half, why would you not run it to get the game over with, you know what I mean? 9 for 14 on third down, not bad. 0 for 1 on fourth down, not great. And then 5 for 7 in the red zone, missed out on 2 opportunities. Maybe going for it on that fourth down and then the turnover without actually seeing the game, no way to know. But Wyoming started off the season with a win. And then we go into Maryland and knock off a Big Ten opponent. We're looking to make a name for ourselves this year with a couple of Power 5 opponents, and Maryland being one of them. 34-17. It was a close game, man. But they started off bam, bam, 10-7 at the end of one, and then we retaliated to tie it back up and get the lead right there before half with 8 seconds left. A 47-yard bomb by Morgan. That's what I'm talking about. And then we shut them out after that. So we scored, what's that? 20 unanswered points to get the win. I'll take it. Taking a look at the team stats. 22 first downs, 521 yards of total offense. We ran the ball 25 times for 48 yards. That is garbage, dude. That is so bad. That's less than 2 yards a carry, dude. How in the world were we expecting to I don't know. But we threw the ball great. 33 for 44 for 473 yards and 4 touchdowns. But we are a pass-heavy team, and we like to keep it that way. 5 for 11 on third down. 45% isn't super bad. I would like it over 50, but it is what it is. 0 for 1 on fourth down. So far today, all the user teams have gone forward on fourth down at least once, and everybody's missed at least one. But we were 100% in the red zone, though. Had to settle for 2 field goals, but points are points. We'll take them, and it helped us get the win. ECU had its first conference game, ended up dropping the Navy 45-21. Navy just took off, dude. Golly. It was 7-3, and then Navy scored 28 points in a row. That's kind of demoralizing, man. They scored as many points in the second quarter as ECU had in the entire game. I figure ECU's going to turn it up during the season and get some wins. Taking a look at his stats, 19 first downs, 349 yards of total offense, 29 rushes for 141 and a touchdown. Not bad, just unable to stop Navy from running the ball. But they go 18 for 28 for 208 and a touchdown. Threw the ball fairly decent. Third down conversions was pretty good, 6 for 12. 2-point conversion, 100% in the red zone. He did okay. He had quite a bit of penalties at 9. Only punted the ball twice. Didn't turn the ball over. He played pretty good, just the defense could not stop Navy from getting first downs on third down and putting up yards on the ground. UConn also takes out FCS East this week. They start off the game strong though, whereas Charlotte had to come back the second half and get the win. But I mean, he had a pick 6 right there, a couple of huge plays in the third quarter. Just kind of extended that lead a little bit. Taking a look at the stats, on paper, they actually didn't play that well and somehow got the win. Just a couple of big plays, it looks like. 16 first downs, 333 yards total offense, 35 rushes for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns, 18 for 26 for 237 and 4 touchdowns, 3 for 11 on third down. Not good, but it is what it is. I mean, he took advantage of the turnovers. That's what it looks like cost the FCS team this week with 5 turnovers. Now UConn leads the users in turnovers. Even people that have multiple games, 5 in a game. Holy crap! But we're gonna leave the championship contenders and the injury report till the end of the episode, just because it changes or doesn't change that much week to week. So we're just going to leave it as is. I have a bye week this week. Wyoming plays Eastern Michigan, Army and Rutgers, UConn and FCS Southeast, Charlotte and Western Michigan. ECU's got a bye week, and then Rice and Kansas. All right, taking a look at last week's games, Army ends up beating their rival Rutgers pretty handily, 38-10. I mean, it was pretty much over at the half, 24-0, as Army just dominated this game. Taking a look at the team stats, 27 first downs, 450 yards of total offense, 56 rushes for 316 yards and 4 touchdowns. Threw the ball decent, 6 for 12 for 134 and a touchdown. 6 for 10 on third down and 1 for 2 on fourth down. Means he was 5 for 5 in the red zone with no turnovers. He just played a pretty clean game, didn't punt the ball much. He converted pretty good on third down and was able to get the win. And Charlotte ends up losing to Western Michigan, who is my opponent this week, 38-24. Just a big second quarter. They scored 17, whereas Charlotte was only able to score 3, and that's where the gap in points was. Doesn't look like anything super bad, like no pick sixes, no scooping scores, nothing like that. Never mind, there's a pick six to start the game for Charlotte, but he looked like he played pretty decent. Looking at the team stats, 19 first downs, 328 yards total offense, 42 rushes for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then 12 for 24 for 123 and no touchdowns. Just not able to get in the end zone, hurt, and then going 4 for 12 on third down most definitely does. But 3 for 4 in the red zone's not bad. I mean, you swap that field goal for a touchdown, and then scoring the other time, they're still down by 3. So even with the 1 turnover, just unable to capitalize on Western Michigan's turnovers and get points on the board. Wyoming ends up topping Eastern Michigan 45-13, starting off the season pretty good. And he did all right, man. What was that, 31-6 at the half? Golly, dude. He put in the backups and then just ran away with it. Taking a look at the team stats, 26 first downs, 442 yards of total offense, 44 rushes for 255 yards and 3 touchdowns, 12 for 21 for 187 and 3 touchdowns. So able to get on the board regardless of how he was moving the ball, plus a solid 7 for 11 on third down conversions. Helped out huge. And then going 6 for 7 in the red zone with only 1 field goal, most definitely. Even with the 1 interception, this game was never really close. Rice ends up knocking off Kansas, who has started the season rough against the 2 user opponents, 42-28. It's the big first quarter by Rice, and they never looked back after that. They always had an answer whenever Kansas scored. Taking a look at the team stats, 29 first downs, 560 yards of total offense, 44 rushes for 240 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then 25 for 32 for 320 and 4 touchdowns. Man, the quarterback he got that is running his show right now is a good freaking quarterback, man. Even last season, this team is a real threat to do some damage in the BCS this year. 6 for 10 on third down, 1 for 1 on fourth down. I mean, even only going 5 for 3 in the red zone, missed out on 2 opportunities to get points. He still beat this team by 14. I could beat him by 28. He just had a great game, pretty effective game other than not scoring in the red zone. Then Connecticut starting off strong with the FCS teams, 44-17. Looked like a pretty good game for a while there. It was that 17-3, and then FCS kind of made it close, and then it was all UConn after that. Team stats, 24 first downs, 502 yards of total offense, 44 rushes for 282 and 3 touchdowns, 14 for 35 for 220 and 2 touchdowns. A great 10 for 16 on third down, a even better fourth down, 2 for 2, and 5 for 6 in the red zone with 1 field goal. I mean, even with a turnover, this game was all UConn. So taking a look at this week's matchups, and as you can tell, we have a new guy. I play Western Michigan, Wyoming, and Utah State. Mr. Got Game 28 joined as Northern Illinois, so he's got his generic generated schedule. He plays FCS East this week. Interested to see what he do, and thank you, Mr. Got Game, for joining in. I appreciate it, my man. Army and Eastern Michigan, UConn and Memphis, Charlotte and Appalachia State, East Carolina, SMU, and then Rice, Houston. And as far as our game against Western Michigan, Kirk's actually picking against us. Wow. That's kind of a surprise. He's been all on us every year. We got the points per game, even though they play one more game than us. We got the most passing yards. As long as we could throw the ball, we should be okay. Stop them throwing the ball, we'll be all right. But it's interesting that Kirk didn't pick us to win. Taking a look at the games for week 4, Army continues the roll, winning 49-13. Not really even a contest. 28-6 at the half. He scored almost 14 points every quarter. We got a punt return for 6, a couple of touchdown runs, It's an overall good game. Looking at the team stats, 27 first downs, 416 yards of total offense, 60 rushes for 343 yards and 6 touchdowns. My goodness. 6 for 14 for 73 yards, 8 for 13 on third down, great percentage. 0 for 1 on fourth down's alright because he was 5 for 7 in the red zone, or this game could have been way out of hand. And then we end up edging out Western Michigan. They almost beat us, but we shut them out the fourth quarter, and scoring 21 in the second definitely helped. It was just a lot of back and forth. They scored, then we scored all the way down, dude. It's like always a retaliation, minus the field goal at the end of the third quarter. Whenever we pulled away, they never could recover. Taking a look at the stats, 20 first downs, 476 yards of total offense, 25 rushes for 86 yards, but 25 for 37 for 390 and 4 touchdowns. Man, Morgan's going off this year. 5 for 11 throwing the ball. We couldn't shut them out on third down. They were 10 for 16. Golly, if we could swap that, it probably wouldn't have even been a game. 100% in the red zone with a field goal and only 1 turnover, which was the fumble. But this looked like a solid game, man. Looking at the stats, this looked like a great game to watch. Northern Illinois gets their first win of the season with their new coach, 55-17. A huge second, third quarter, shutting out FCS East. Gets them the victory. Taking a look at the stats, 31 first downs, 651 yards total offense, 46 rushes for 305 yards and 4 touchdowns, 15 for 28 for 346, and 3 touchdowns. My goodness. 4 for 8 on third down, 0 for 1 on fourth, and 5 for 6 in the red zone with 1 interception. Solid game. Looks like he's got a pretty stacked team. I'm going to be interested to see what happens in the MAC. ECU just quite can't pull it out against SMU. And they had a big second quarter, just not quite able to bounce back. They were actually ahead in the second quarter. Wow. At half, they were up. Was it 31-28? Dude. Yeah, man. A pick 6 to get them the lead. And then the field goal to do it right before the half. And then just not able to score after that until late in the fourth quarter. Taking a look at the stats, 21 first downs, 426 yards of total offense, 35 rushes for 115 and a touchdown, 24 for 36 for 311 and 3 touchdowns, 5 for 15 on third down. That's probably the percentage that hurt, as well as the 4 for 6 in the red zone. Missed opportunities, took points off the board, and cost them this game. UConn goes down for the first time this season, 28-24. This was a real good back and forth game, just not able to score more than 1 time per quarter. Taking a look at the stats, 20 first downs, 430 yards of total offense, 32 for 162, no rushing touchdowns, and 15 for 29 for 241 and 3 touchdowns. 5 for 12 on third down, not bad, but if you swap their third down percentage, I bet you UConn wins this game. 0 for 1 on third down, and then missed opportunities in the red zone again. Hurt. I mean, maybe not able to take advantage of the 2 turnovers, who knows? Just not quite enough to get the win today. Houston gets revenge for last year and knocks off the rival of Rice 31-24. Just shut them out in the first quarter, and that was all it took. It was a good back and forth game after that. Just Rice not able to produce enough to get the win. Taking a look at the stats, 18 first downs, 392 yards of total offense, 33 rushes for 153 and no touchdowns, 19 for 26 for 239 and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's probably the worst offensive game he's had in like 2 or 3 years. That was just not good for him. 9 for 13 is great for him, but look at Houston, 13 for 15 on third down. They only missed a third down conversion twice all game long. That sucks. That's how you win games right there. Conversions, baby. He was 100% in the red zone and no turnovers. Other than that, just not able to produce and get first downs. Charlotte ends up beating Appalachian State 45-21. Huge first half. They were up 24-0, and then they both scored exactly 21 after that. Just wow. Charlotte came on strong and to start this game and never looked back. Taking a look at the stats, 26 first downs, 449 yards of total offense, 58 rushes for 259 yards and 2 touchdowns, 14 for 19 for 154 and 4 touchdowns. He threw 5 incomplete passes. He was averaging better than every 4 passes a touchdown. Wow. That's a heck of a game. 11 for 16 on third down, great percentage, 100% in the red zone with all 5 touchdowns, great. And took advantage of the turnovers, man. No turnovers on his end. And the defense forced 4. Charlotte coming into their own. Wyoming ends up knocking off Utah State in the rivalry game to remain undefeated 38-21. A huge third quarter helped propel them to the victory, man. Yeah, only 14 points. Even though, Utah State's only score in the second half with a pick 6. So, I mean, you could say they shut them out the whole second half. Looking at the stats, it was a really even game. 19 first downs, 401 yards total offense, 32 for 174 and a touchdown, 20 for 30 for 227, and 4 touchdowns. Threw the ball really well. 9 for 12 on third down. Converted on third down really well. And 100% in the red zone, even better. Even with the 1 turnover that did result in a touchdown, didn't even matter. This was a great game by Wyoming. Now with the addition of Mr. Got Game 28 in NIU, we are pushing like a 25 to 30 minute long video. So I'm going to drop it down to 3 weeks per video instead of 4. I mean, I went from 5 to 4 really quick. And now from 4 to 3 just because I don't want to keep it going super long. I want to keep it pretty close to about 20 minutes if possible. So we're gonna drop it from there. So this week I have Toledo rivalry game, and I have a ton of people visiting. I'll show you that here in a minute. Wyoming and UNLV, Northern Illinois and Ohio, Army and Pitt, UConn Tulane, Charlotte's got a bye week, East Carolina and Southern Miss, and Rice SMU. Checking out the championship contenders, we'll run through the top 10 real quick and then get to where the users are. So Florida State, Washington, LSU, UCLA, Virginia Tech, Auburn, Texas, Stanford, K-State, and Georgia. And the first user is Rice. No real surprise there. I mean, look at his a couple of years from now. 43 overall. Myself sitting at 56. Wyoming coming in at 60. Army 72. Charlotte at 76. UConn at 77. Northern Illinois at 85. And then ECU coming in at 122. Taking a look at the injury reports, Army is struggling on defense as the right and middle linebackers out for multiple weeks, and the right ends finally maybe about to come back, but still huge playmakers for him that are out already. We have no injuries on our team. Charlotte has a tight end out for a week. Connecticut broken wrist out for the season. ECU has no injuries. Rice has a tight end, 85 overall freshman. Dude, that guy is so good, man. Golly, out for 2 weeks. Then Wyoming and Northern Illinois have no injuries. Now, this week, Kirk's picking us to win. Toledo's 0-2. They're a rival. It's a huge game for us. The only thing they're beating us in is rushing yards per game. Barely. And we throw the ball a ton. Other than that, we're smoking them literally in every category, and it's not even close. So hopefully we can come out and get the win this week to impress our visits. Taking a look at the recruiting real quick, we are doing extremely well. Very happy with the recruiting board so far this year. Got my defensive end. He's literally the only guy that I need this year. 1 defensive end, that's it. Everybody else is bonus. So we're pushing hard, man. We got a couple of receivers that we're looking forward to. Ostrander 100% wants to go for us. Rice tried at the beginning, but saw that the bonus was going to be the difference, so he dropped him off. So I took some points from him to have such a big lead, but Ostrander for sure going to us. Same thing with Jonathan Taylor. But other than that, some of these are really close. Some of these guys are finally starting to put people on their board. But we could load up on receivers really easy this year. Very, very easy. But we got to visit this week. Hopefully that'll jump us back up in front of Ohio. I don't know how they got a 335 change. I have 700 points on him. I've had 700 points on him. I can see a 15-point change, but who knows. I went ahead and offered a scholarship because he's coming this week. So maybe I can load up on the points and come out and get a win. Same thing with the guard. But everybody else is just extra. I keep them on my board because I'm earning points per week, baby. That's why I do it. It's the easiest thing in the world. And then my insta commit that I got at the start of the season, had to scout him, found out he was at 78. Very happy about that. But recruiting coming along very nicely, getting some receivers and just loading up on my already good team. But that's gonna be it for this episode. If you guys are new, be sure to subscribe. If you like the video, be sure to leave a like, and I will see y'all next time.